I'm going to be beating Getting Over It Scratch because I'm bored. Honestly, I'm just bored. So restart the timer, and we're gonna get started. I literally beat my record before this. I got 40 minutes and 40
moments
seconds.
after you shared it, as I have. Well, you spent hours working on a project, only to notice too late that one of your sprites has unexplainably gone missing. If you've made use of that difficult-to-name thing of Thingblock, within the sensing category, amazingly useful, but capable, due to a scratch bug, of leaving you crying as it dumps all your scripts in one big and ordered heap. If you've made real progress coding a game over the course of the week, only to come back the next day to discover you weren't even logged in. Nothing has been saving. Starting over is harder than starting over. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day at school,
No school today.
then what you're about to go through may be too much. Feel free to go away and come back. I'll be here. Alright, thanks for coming with me on this trip. I'll understand if you need to take a break at any point. Just find a safe place to stop and remember to pause the game by pressing P. On Scratch you can find loads of remixed or reimagined recreations of existing games. And with good reason. George Bernard Shaw said, imitation is not just
Bro,
the
just
sincerest
get-
form of flattery, it's the sincerest form of learning. This game is a recreation of a game that came out in 2017, titled Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. That game in turn was a homage to a free game that came out in 2002. Both games involved dragging yourself, using a hammer, up a mountain assembled from assets and objects sourced from many other games. It seems appropriate then that, when trying to recreate Getting Over It in Scratch, that we should construct our mountain from the same assets used in literally millions of Scratch projects, the unmistakable by 360 pixel stage. But these very restrictions force us to experiment, to think out of the box, to grow as developers as we become masters of all things Scratch. And let's not forget, what we lack in technology, we make up for in community. This fantastic bunch of budding software engineers, building, learning, creating, playing, remixing, a diverse group of people is a very Scratch asset in the digital world or in the real world, has certain essential properties that give the game how well they turned out. I certainly wish we could.
I'm probably gonna beat
Real
my
raw coding. What gives it
other
that special
record.
zing is the challenge of accomplishing something you've never done before. At this point, you don't want to fall into the trap of rushing into creating loads of content, designing all the levels, the player costumes, all the easier stuff that could be perfected later. No, before all that, you need to prod and poke that tree. That is, understanding the coding difficulties you're expecting to face and try out any ideas to
Bro.
solve them. You may not be able to time travel, but at least this way you can get a good idea of how well your project is like to go,
Let's
and
go.
potentially save yourself
I
a lot
beat
of
the
time.
game.
This project began life a couple of months ago as 3
Let's go. I
simple
beat my
scripts.
past
The
record.
player, hammer,
4
and
minutes
level.
and 20
I
seconds.
spent no time on the art, just
Let's
using
go.
sketch gaps and a few
Easy.
rectangles drawn in the sprite
Easy.
editor. The scripts for the player
Oh,
quickly mocked up in a
that's it.
similar fashion.
Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, Macarena.